ShelleyHerman, and these are my 5 tips for getting a job and keeping a job. My first tip is, this is kind of radical, never have something to fall back on. I know, it's kind of dangerous. It's going out into the real world without a net underneath you. But so many people take a job and they figure, oh, I'll be there a couple months, maybe a couple years, make a little bit of money, and then pretty soon the years turn into decades, and pretty soon it's retirement age, and you haven't been able to reach your goals. You know, my parents wanted me to become a school teacher. They wanted me to have that as my fallback on job. I didn't like being a student. I didn't like going to school. So why would I do a job that I didn't like? So I urge you to find what your passion is. Have a goal. I don't say a dream. I say a goal, and make that goal come true. My second tip is, if you don't want to do something for a living, never learn how to do it. A woman taught me that lesson when I was an intern at NBC. I'd taken a class at Cal State Northridge, shorthand, because I figured that's a sure way to the top. Well, after the second day, I was in tears. I couldn't figure out what shorthand was. I didn't want to be in a world where I had to do shorthand. So she said to me, if you never want to do something for a living, never learn how to do it. Mind blown. I had a choice in life. And it's interesting because that's the woman who eventually recommended me for a job that got me out of my internship and got me to a real job that paid well. My third tip, if you want to meet somebody, try to find a way that they want to meet you, not have to meet you. And I'm not saying be a pest about it or anything, but if somebody's recommending you for the job, have them say a little something that piques the interest of the person that you're going to be meeting with. Here's a great example. I call it my Lucy Ricardo thinking because it's kind of out of the box. I wanted to meet a certain executive at NBC, but his secretary, only doing her job, prevented me from having a meeting with him. What to do? Well, I'm driving home one night, pouring rain, and I hear on a talk radio station, our next guest is Dick Ebersol. That was the executive I wanted to meet. So I pull off the road, run to a payphone. Yes, they used to have phones that you'd put money into, pay phones. And I got on the air, and the talk radio host said, and what's your question, caller? And I didn't have a question. I just blurted out, hi, my name is ShelleyHerman, and I've been trying to get a meeting with you, but your secretary won't set a meeting. So will you promise me right here on the air, right here and right now, that you'll meet with me the next time you're in office? And he said, yes. So I found a way to pique his interest. We had a great interview. I didn't get the job of my dreams, but he did give me a lot of really good tips that have helped me even to this day to navigate the world of the entertainment industry. My fourth tip, it sounds old school, sounds corny, but after you've had an interview with somebody, after somebody's done something for you, after you've met a client, write them a handwritten thank you note. I know you probably say, well, I send emails. Well, emails, somebody looks at them, poof, it deletes them right away. But if you can get a card to somebody with a handwritten note, and maybe personalize the card some way, if you know they like a certain baseball team, or if they like certain kind of flowers or certain kind of pet, and you can get that on the card, and while you're still feeling that sense of gratitude, write them a note because it'll come from your heart and it will really mean something to the recipient. My fifth and final tip, go for it. Reach your goals. Don't just dream about it. Go out into the world and really do it. And the way to do that is to make people feel good when you meet them. I know I've gone into meetings sometimes with people, gone in for interviews. I might not get the job right off the bat. But sometimes a week or two later, if the first candidate hasn't worked out, they're going to remember me because I was confident. I felt good about myself during the meeting and even after the meeting. And that person remembers that I had that kind of confidence. It made them feel confident in me and my abilities. So, gratitude and kindness, they'll go a long way to making people feel good about you. So there you have it, my 5 tips on how to get a job and keep a job. And remember, I don't have dreams, I have goals. And it's your job to make your goals come true.